thank you for joining us on this ceasefire moment. Grace versus law. We're continuing to look at the commandments and what ones we're able to keep and what ones we may no longer be able to keep. Today's commandments are going to be relative to our community and community responsibility. Stolen property must be returned to an owner. The poor must be taken care of according to Yahweh's laws. When a Hebrew slave goes free, the owner must give him gifts. Loans to brothers must be without interest. And that's interesting. Loans to the foreigner may be with interest. You have to remember, in that time, brother didn't mean your blood brother, and typically foreigner meant someone outside of your community or your clan or, your group of people. Restore a pledge for a loan to its owner if he needs it. Pay a hired worker his wage on time. Permit the poor to eat of the produce of the vineyard or the standing grain. It'd be interesting if we did that today. What that would have, what kind of effect that would have on society and the poor people. Help a stranger who has a fallen animal. Help your brother who has a fallen animal. Lost property must be restored to its owners. Those who sin must be corrected. Love your neighbor, whether a brother or an enemy, as yourself. I guess we can see where Jesus got his command. Love the stranger and the new convert among you, and use only honest weights and measures. I really don't think there's anything there that I would have a problem keeping. Family. Show honor and respect for Yahweh's appointed teachers. Show honor and respect to parents. Become holy as Yahweh is holy. Bring forth the holy seed, the 144,000 holy priesthood promised to Abraham. I'm not sure what it is that I'm supposed to do in regard to that one. Marriage must be according to Yahweh's laws. A bridegroom is to rejoice with his bride. All males must be circumcised, newborn males on the 8th day. Should a man die childless, his brother must either marry the widow or he may release his brother's widow. Not sure how that would go over in today's society. That's an interesting one to consider if I would want to keep that. I guess the point with he may release his brother's widow would be the option taken today most often. A man who violates a virgin must pay the bride price, marry her if her father permits, and may never divorce her. That would give you a little thought. The elder must judge in a case of premarital promiscuity. A woman's father may utterly refuse to give his daughter to a man even though he pays the bride price. That was actually something that was still in effect here, even in the United States in the early years, where it wasn't necessarily called a bride price, but fathers would give dowries to their daughters. The female captive must be treated in accordance with special regulations concerning repentance and conversion. Divorce can only be for the cause of premarital fornication by the bride. Okay. I guess if it was premarital by a man, he would be forced to marry the woman and he wasn't allowed to divorce her, because that's what it said up in number 10. A woman suspected of adultery must submit to the required tests. This concludes this episode of this ceasefire moment. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you learned something.